software. Now, as you know, and you have come across before or at the inception of this course, we introduced computer being hardware, which consists of tangible parts. But now we want to look at the intangible parts of a computer, what you cannot, which you cannot see or touch in that regard. So this makes what we say software. You see? So what is computer software? Now, computer software are a set of programs designed to perform well-defined functions. So when I say software, what should come to your mind are set of programs. It is a combination of programs. So a program is a set of instructions. So I want you to get clearly, when I say software, it means set of programs. Let's please unmute so that we can continue. Kindly, so that we don't disturb each other. We move faster. So I was saying that software are a set of programs, while a program is a set of instructions. So you can see that what makes a software is actually a combination of programs. Now, very importantly, we categorize software into two. That is system software and application software. Those are the two broad categorization of software: the system software and the application software. That becomes very easy once we see it in a diagrammatic representation, so that you can really understand where is this software coming in exactly. So I will show you a diagram here that tries to bring us the clarification clearly. So when I say software is subdivided into two: application software and system software. Now, a good example of system software is an operating system, as shown here in this diagrammatic representation. This is operating system, which is system software, and there we have application software. So normally, when you use your machine as a user, you interact with applications softwares. Then the application software, you should be able to know that they sit on top of system software. An example is operating system. The operating system sits on the computer hardware. So if I purchase a new machine from the market, I am purchasing the hardware. Then on top of it, I come and install system software, which is now the operating system. Once I install the operating system, I now install applications. A very good example is the Android device, which I suspect most of you are using an Android operating system based on your mobile handheld device. So what happens is we have different hardware manufacturers, such as Nokia, such as HTC, Huawei, Techno, and many others. Those ones are hardware manufacturers. Once they manufacture the hardware, now the second thing is they install an operating system, which is now Android, which runs on majority of those devices. We have other machines, or we have other vendors, such as Apple. Those ones use that is an iOS, Apple iOS, which normally uses Mac. And then we have also Linux, that is those ones which are using Ubuntu. If you have seen, or if you have purchased a machine from the market, you realize that some already have Linux installed as an operating system. Then once you install the operating system, you now install applications that you want to use. If it is WhatsApp, if it is MS Office package, if it is whatever, Word, MS Excel, MS PowerPoint, all those ones move to applications, which you normally interact with. Now, this sends me to discuss a very important aspect about application software. As we have agreed, we have two broad categorization: system software and application software. I'll start from discussing application software. Application software are a categorization of software that are specifically designed to achieve specific tasks, e.g. MS Office. MS Office is used for word processing. MS Excel. Excel is used for mathematical computations. MS Access. Access is used as a database for storage. You see? So those ones are just examples of application softwares. And as you can see, each of these application softwares have been designed in such a way that they are able to achieve or perform specific tasks. So I hope we have agreed on application software. So going back to where we are. So just to understand the features of this application software is that they are close to a user. They are easy to design. You see, the way you design an application software is not how you design a system software, such as an operating system. Kindly unmute. There's someone who is giving us some. Just mute. You know, you don't know whether you are in a place where there's some interference, background interference. So just mute, please. So, features of application software are close to a user, easy to design, more interactive. They are slow in speed, generally written in high-level languages. When I say high-level languages, I mean those languages which are close to human language. Maybe just to take you a little bit away from this is that the way you come up with these softwares in general is you program them, you develop them using programming languages. And just to give you a snapshot, a small snapshot, is that just the way we had generations of computers, we also have generations of programming languages. So programming languages have their own inception again. So they evolve. Also considering the way computers evolve, also programming languages evolve. So that we have first generation languages, which are machine language, second generation language, which are assembly languages, third generation languages, which are now high level languages. And these are languages which are close to human language. So when I say that these application programs are generally written in high-level languages, I hope you now understand that these high-level languages are those languages which are close to human language. They are also easy to understand because you don't need training to be able to use this application software. If I just may ask, if you need training to use WhatsApp, do you need any training to use WhatsApp? Yes, you don't need any training. You realize that you need if any kind of training. Please kindly unmute. Yes, kindly mute, Nani. Roslyn, I think it's Roslyn who is giving us a lot of problems. Faith Ruta, the one disturbing us. Faith Ruta, you are giving us problems in class. Kindly mute yourself, Faith, please. Faith, kindly mute yourself. You are giving us problems. Okay, I think we can as well continue. So I was talking about the features of application software, and we have said it is easy to understand, manipulate, and use, and even bigger in size and requires large storage. That's why as soon as you install application softwares, you realize that they are very heavy. One example is MS Office, or what we say Microsoft Office. This MS Office package, inside it, it has a number of softwares. Like one is MS Excel, MS Access. Inside this one package known as Microsoft Office, which you normally use it, it contains a number of softwares inside it. And I've said, as I install Microsoft Office has Excel, Access, PowerPoint, Publisher, Word, and many, many others. So you can realize that they are generally bigger in size and requires large storage space. I'm still getting a background interference. This is Masha. Okay. So I was talking about application software, and we have seen some examples of this application software, such as payroll software, student record software, MS Word, MS Excel, MS PowerPoint. I hope you have understood what we mean by application software. Before I now move to system software. Now, system software, as we have agreed and you have seen the diagram, you have seen the diagrammatic representation on where or at what position this system software generally comes in from this diagram. Let me just share the diagram here. I want to share this diagram. I was just discussing about application software. Now I want to discuss about this system software. And I said an example of system software is operating system. So just to define it, system software acts as an interface between application software and computer hardware. So it is a category of software which acts as an interface. When I say interface, I mean it is in between. It is in between application software and computer hardware. And I've said one example of that is operating system. There are although others such as libraries and utility softwares. So as I have pointed out, that operating system is one example of this system software. I would want to go straight and discuss about operating system. So before I start operating system, kindly mute yourself. Once you have joined, kindly mute yourself so that we don't interfere the others. So I'll just proceed. Now, I want to discuss an operating system. And remember, I have said operating system is a type of system software. An operating system is a program acting as an interface between software and hardware. And when I say an interface, it means it is in between the application software and computer hardware. So it is normally an integrated set of specialized programs used to manage the overall resources and operations of a computer. So normally, these operating systems, as you have seen, it is coming in between the application software and the computer hardware. It is mediating between the hardware and the application programs. So making computer easy and convenient to use, hiding the details of computer resources from the users. because you don't need to worry about the computer hardware. And what makes your life convenient is this operating system, which is known as system software, which is coming in between you when you are using the application programs and the computer hardware. That simply now hiding the details of the hardware from you as a computer user. Also providing users convenient interface to use computer system. Because what you need to worry is, I need to use WhatsApp, just install WhatsApp, and you have the application, you interact with it. You need word processing, just install MS Office. But now you need to realize when you are installing, you're actually installing on top of system software, which is an operating system. So as we have agreed, it's acting as an intermediary between hardware and users, and also managing resources of a computer. Now, this takes me straight to understand the characteristics of this operating system, which is very, very important part of this software. One is that it does memory management, keeping track of memory, which part of memory is in use by which process. Remember, when you are using computer, as we introduced this course, we said the processing responsibility of a computer happens within the CPU. So actually the CPU is in process of scheduling tasks. So remember that aspect of being able to know which process should be able to access the CPU or the primary memory in that regard for processing purposes, which process should access the processor. Which process should access the processor is the responsibility of operating system. And that is known as memory management. There is also processor management, allocating processes to a processor to a process, and also deallocating the same processor when it is not needed by that process is known as process management. So there is also device management, keeping track of all devices. So when I am using my mouse, for example, knowing or discovering the mouse when it is connected is a duty of operating system. Remember, you'll not use your computer mouse without an operating system. In fact, when you are installing an operating system, you don't need a mouse. It is not recognized. It is only recognized once you have an operating system in place. So that is why we talk about device management. There is also file management, allocating and deallocating the resources and decides who gets the resources. That is file management. Who should access which section of your disk for purposes of accessing the different files. That file management ability is within the operating system again. There is also job accounting, keeping track of time and resources used by various jobs and or users. When I say job accounting, I should be able to know who logged in at what time, accessed which resources, or used which resources within the computer. That is what we talk about job accounting. The responsibilities assigned to different users. So keeping track of time and resources. Please, we are in class. I will remove you, Nani, Faith. I'm in class. I'm in a very serious class. Kindly mute yourself. So I'm talking about job accounting, and I've said keeping track of the different computer jobs. There is also control of a system performance. So when I talk about performance of the system, I need to know and be able to know which services are being requested by which part of a system. So that I should be able to record delays between requests for a service and from the system. So that function is within also the operating system. There is also interaction with operators, error detecting aids, and coordination with other softwares and users. For example, error detecting aid. Sometimes you are not able to connect to a network. When you're not able to connect to an internet connection, then you activate error detection, or there is an error detection mechanism to be able to know what could be possibly the problems where you are not connecting to the internet, for example. That is an aspect about error detecting aid. which is found within the operating system again. So that is it in a sense. That is it in operating system, and you have seen the different characteristics, or sometimes you can talk you can talk as functions of operating system. I can also say functions of operating system, so that I can talk about memory management, device management, security, job management, and the other things. So you can easily discuss it in one way or the other. Considering you have known characteristics, you should also know the functions of operating system. So that's a very good aspect. Maybe as an extension to this software, I would want to just also classify software into open source and proprietary software. Now, when I say open source software, I mean software which is under general public license, which you normally say GPL. This is free software. So when you say open source software, it is normally developed and owned by open community. It is not the sole property of anyone. An example of this open source software is Android. Android is not a commercialable application. You don't buy, as a sense, you don't buy. So I've said open source software is free software. I hope we agreed with that. There is also proprietary software. Now, proprietary software is a sole property of a company. An example is Microsoft. The Microsoft, if you are using a Microsoft machine, you realize that Microsoft is proprietary. It is owned by Microsoft. So you need to pay for license to be able to use that Microsoft product. Now, we always have please. We are in class. Please allow us to finish the class so that you can open your music. Please. Newton. And I should give you last warning. If we are doing this in class, it means that Newton, I will remove you from my class. Yes, we are not here to be playing around. I was talking about open source and proprietary software. And I said open source is free software, while proprietary is paid software in general. I can say proprietary is paid software. And you need to have two concepts here. We have open source application software, and we also have open source system software. When I say open source application software, I mean application softwares which you don't need to pay. An example is WhatsApp. Do you pay to use WhatsApp? You don't pay because it is free. It is under general public license. Now, on the other hand, we need also to distinguish between open source and proprietary system software. This takes us to two broad categorization here. I want you to be very keen. Looking at some of the open source system software, and I said system software, an example is operating system. Some of the open source operating system is Linux. There is also Android. Now, I think as we had agreed earlier on, a majority of you are using Android devices. So Android comes on again with very many different versions, which still are open source. Maybe as well you can remind us which kind of operating system runs within your Android handheld device or on your Android mobile phone. Maybe someone could easily tell us examples so that we can be having a number of versions of Android. Yes? Someone to give us some examples? Yes? Okay, maybe I just want to give you examples of Linux operating system. We have Linux Mint. Those ones are open source system software, or in other terms, open source operating system. We have Mint. We have Ubuntu, which you must have seen. We have Manjaro, Zorin, Vidora, Debian, Kali Linux, Backtrack, and many others. So those ones are the different distributions or types of Linux operating system. So maybe as you have seen, we have a number of operating systems or different types of Linux. Let's move to different types of proprietary software. We have an example is Windows, and Windows has come in with very different or very many versions, starting from DOS. We came into Linux, this Windows NT. There is also Windows XP. We have Windows Vista. We have Windows 7. We have Windows 8.0. We have Windows 8.1. The latest one we are using is Windows 10. Those ones are examples of Windows operating system. So at any given time you come across examples of operating system, you should be able to give unlimited list. You see, Windows has almost over 10 distros of Windows. Again, Linux has almost over 10 again. So you should be able to give us enough examples. When you we come to across a question asking you on examples of Windows or examples of operating systems, you should be able to give that. So I hope without mixing you have understand, or you have an understanding of open source and proprietary. When I say open source is free, when I say proprietary is paid. And I've given you an example of open source when I say Linux and Android. And I've given you an example of proprietary, and I said examples is Windows. And majority of Windows product, even the MS Office you are using, you must have used Excel or Word. Those are paid software. You must pay for the license to use Excel or Access. So with that, I should be able to agree with you that I've finished software and you understand what we mean by software. And you have seen the two broad categorization of software, system software and application software. So that is it. So maybe for purposes of assignment 2, I should be able to allow you to take an assignment on I should be able to prepare an assignment on system, that is not on system, on the whole part of software, so that you can easily internalize the same.